Today we're with Marion, and she has just a couple days ago moved into an assisted living with yourself and your partner
That's right.
of how many years?
29.
29 years they're together. And you even moved in from a different town to be closer to your family.
Yes.
And your partner has memory impairment.
Yes.
And you were so courageous with the move and making the choice, which is a very difficult choice because a lot of people think they need to keep their loved one at home,
Right.
maybe longer than what's actually good for both people.
Exactly.
And I was just wondering if you could share with me and with us just a little bit about what it was like at home before and how you got to the point of, okay, now it's time for a change.
Right. It was a very difficult choice, and I really got to the place where it was so obvious that I couldn't manage it anymore, that it began to make itself. But what really helped me was he was incontinent, he was unable to control his bowels a lot of times, and those are really hard for one old lady to stay up with.
Mm-hmm.
And then otherwise it was run of the mill, but I was so tired I wouldn't remember things. Mm-hmm. I got so tired that I sometimes couldn't say the words I was thinking. Mm-hmm. And it got to worrying me because I knew if I couldn't function, I was in really deep trouble. Mm-hmm. Because neither of us would get care. Mm-hmm. I hired someone to help and she was wonderful, but it isn't the same as you're having that everyday duty. And the partner so relying on you that there's nobody else that he considers able to do it. Mm. I knew we had to break that up. I knew we had to get him good care, get me good care, and let me start resting so I can start thinking again, and get him people who can care for him. Because yesterday when I went to visit him the first time, his bathroom was a mess because he had just had another accident. And I thought, there you are, girl. You've just missed cleaning that up for the first time. Somebody else is going to clean that up.
And how did that feel?
And that felt so relief-giving. I just called an attendant. But I was exhausted. I was just exhausted. And at night, I couldn't sleep because I was thinking what was necessary to do to be sure that we got to our doctor's appointments or whatever the next day. I would often get up and watch funny animals on YouTube just to get myself relaxed enough to go to sleep. Mm. So it made itself, but it wasn't obvious. I tried to be strong. That was my problem. I tried to be strong and do it all. And I finally found out I couldn't. Mm. I finally got to the place where it was so obvious that things were going to start falling between the cracks. And I wanted good care for him. It was my loving for him, really, that finally tipped me over to, well, you're going to have to get some help then. I wanted good care for him, and I thought I could do it all, and I discovered I couldn't. Mm. So that's what I have to share, is start being alert if you're the caregiver, and start watching how you're doing. Because a lot of people can be cared for well, but the caregiver has to have their mind working and their physical body rested, or it doesn't go. Mm-hmm. So I think that's my advice, and it made it a lot easier. And he's very happy here. That's the other thing.
And it's just been a couple days.
It's just a couple of days. He's so relaxed and so into what the programs are and so forth. He was asking today, how do I know what things are happening? And we showed him. Mm-hmm. And we'll tell staff that they need to cue him also, mm-hmm. in order to get him involved in things, because he may not remember to go look. Mm-hmm. But he still has his sense of humor, but he doesn't mm-hmm. have any sense of time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they'll have to remind him.
Sure. And how are you doing? And are you sleeping better?
I'm sleeping. Yesterday I got a novel because I haven't read in years. Mm-hmm. And I sat down. I like to sit on the bed and relax, and I read 2 pages and fell asleep.
Mhm.
So I think I'm beginning to come down from 400 miles an hour to where I can get some rest.
Mhm.
I was really moving fast over there, trying to get us here and all.
Mhm. How many years did you care for him at home since he's had?
I've been caring for him. I've known about his diagnosis for 5 years, 2009, 6 years,
Is it a diagnosis of Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's.
Okay.
But I would say the intense care has been in the last 2 years when they've
Okay.
asked me not to leave him alone and to take him with me if I have to go shopping. Well, when you take someone like that shopping, it's much slower. So I would say the last 2 years have been very intense. In the last year, there's been a lot of incontinence and difficulty with bowels, and that's made it doubly hard
Mhm.
to clean everything up. I mean, the bed, the bathroom, the whatever.
Mhm.
And he got to the place where he'd stand in our hall and say, now where is the shower?
Mhm.
Which, you know, previously, say, maybe a year ago, he could have gone easily.
Mhm.
But it just got, so I was on 24 hours a day. He would wake at 4 in the morning to remake the bed. And 4 in the morning is not the time to wake me. So I'd be a little grumpy.
Right. Yeah.
I'd lost my, well, I didn't yell a lot, but I said, please let me sleep some more, please let me
Mhm.
sleep.
So were there times that you kind of lose your cool
Oh,
because you were
very much
completely
so.
exhausted,
Very
and that
much
must
so.
not have felt good to you?
It wasn't good to him either, because he
Yeah.
likes a nice, calm, he's a good communicator,
Mhm.
and he likes to talk about the problems at a rational level,
Mhm.
and then I would lose it. And he's finally gotten, I mean, we've known each other a long time now, he's finally gotten so he would let me blow, and then he would call me about 2 hours later, and we would sit down, and he would say, you know, when you get very excited, if you would just think about things first. And I said, I'm a girl. I don't know that all girls run it through their mind first, but I will do my best.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes, I lost it.
Yeah.
I would yell.
Yeah. And so you knew it was time that, and actually some people go even beyond that, and the caregiver's health starts to
Yes,
fail,
that's right.
and then start to lose,
That's right.
not remember things as much for yourself, and then things, like you said, start falling through the cracks.
Exactly.
And then both of you are sinking.
And then who's going to help you?
Right.
Who's going to help you? That's what I had to say. Was my kids are too far away. I can't rely on them. I've got to get out of here before we both go down the tubes.
Yeah. So you had to make a tough decision in some ways, but an easy decision in some ways, because you knew that you trusted that it was going to get better. Right?
I did,
Part of
and,
you knew.
and for one reason, I had a good case manager, and I had great family, and they could help me walk it through. There were many times when they said, "Mom, he's already long-term care. I can tell you the things that are going on now that make him long-term care," and I hadn't known that. So people could educate me, and then the light began to dawn.
So people outside of you really saw things that you weren't seeing yourself.
That's right, and they coached me, and I really needed the coaching. All the way.
And you really listened. You were open.
Yeah.
To the people around you.
Yeah.
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 And you said something interesting. As far as you said, sometimes people think in their wedding vows when they said for sick and for poor, and they think, well, I just have to do this at home no matter what.
Yes.
And I thought that was a really good point.
It is a good point. When we take vows, all of us take them very seriously. So we promise these things in our wedding vows, for better or for worse, for sicker or for poorer, and you can only take that so far and keep yourself healthy. Now, a lot of people, I think, in the old days didn't keep themselves healthy, but we have help now. It's a whole different world and a whole different modern day, and everything has improved so much that now the caregiver doesn't have to go down the tubes if they'll wake up, if they'll pay attention and say, I'm not doing well, therefore he won't be doing well. But those vows can be really serious, and you have to look twice about how deeply you're going to try to keep that commitment. It's not healthy to keep it all the way till you're all the way down.
Right.
Yeah.
Any advice for people going through, say, a loved one has memory impairment, Alzheimer's, dementia, they're at home and they need to make some choices as far as getting in-home care or going to an assisted living and making that difficult decision and thinking, I need to be the one to take care of him or her, and no one else can, or I promise to keep him home.
Right.
Any advice
Yes.
that you give them?
Yes, there is a big thing that I learned in a caregiving group, and that was what you say to them, even if you already promised you'd always keep them at home. You go back and you say, you know, I may have said differently before. Now I can't keep you safe. If I can't keep you safe, I'm going to change what I've told you, and we need to make a change here because I can't keep you safe anymore. And that was my turning point. I could see I couldn't keep him safe and healthy. I couldn't feed him, do all the things I needed to, and meet my standards of I want the best for this man, and I want the best for me. So that was what did it. If you go back and say, I may have said I wanted to keep you at home, but I can't keep you safe there anymore. We have to do something. Then I think that's a good shift point.
And the other point was that you were concerned that he would get out of the house. And
Absolutely.
you had locks on the door, and then you probably couldn't sleep completely because you thought, well, maybe in the middle of the night he would get out and get lost.
Exactly. That was very scary.
Yeah.
Because he had, at times, gotten all the way dressed. I just happened to wake, and he was in the middle of the night going down to get a car that was it wasn't there, but he thought it was down there somewhere. So he could have walked out and been lost. So we had our IDs, we had emergency little buttons and all that kind of thing. But you don't want to go that far. You don't want to go till they walk away. So that was another good deciding point. Keep him safe, keep me from worrying my head off.
Were your kids worried about you?
They were very worried about me, and they kept asking me that they were the ones who brought all these symptoms together and said, Mom, this and this and this are happening. We love you so much, and you don't have to do this anymore. We will help you get into a situation where you're both cared for. And they did. And they helped me find a care manager. And that was everything right there. Family really supported me. But you don't have to have family. If you don't have family, go online and find a care manager. And that's a really important point. You don't have to have any family to get yourself cared for.
Yeah.
Can I say your name?
Yes.
Okay, my care manager happens to be Cheryl Matthew.
So they found me. She found me.
Yes, I found Cheryl Matthew, and she's with agingpro.com, and you can look her up, and she lives in California. So, but that doesn't matter. She can help you out of Minnesota if you need it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's people all over the country that can help. You happen to find me, and but the process that you went through is so familiar.
Yes.
Right. There's so many people just like you, and I really wanted to tell your story.
Right.
Because you have you really knew what was happening. You could feel like something needs to change, and you made some very courageous choices to make the move. And you had supportive family, and I helped you put the pieces together and gave you some options, and you got to choose which one you wanted.
It was very helpful to have those choices.
Right. And you're already seeing, like you took the action, you were very organized, and you're already seeing after a few days, you're resting better, your health is getting better already.
Yeah.
Your partner is safe, he's happy,
he is.
He's asking great questions like, what's happening, what's the plan, what's the pattern.
Exactly.
He's very calm.
Yeah.
He's fitting in already, and it's just going to get better. And I think you'll see that you both will thrive because of the courageous choice that you make. Because really, when someone has memory impairment, you're making the choice for both of you. Just like when you have small children.
Exactly.
I have an 8-year-old,
Exactly.
and I had to make a choice this year to change schools. It wasn't easy.
Right.
She was familiar. She was familiar. It was her family at the other school, but I knew it was going to be a better situation somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult choice. I knew it was going to be better. It was hard just holding for her in the middle.
Why she was upset still.
When she left and she's like, I don't want to go, part of her. But part of her knew it was going to get better because
Right.
she trusted us.
Right.
And we made the choice. It was a hard week of holding and then her getting used to the new school. She can get her toe in there and then get involved.
Yeah.
And in a week, I see it, with my 8-year-old, she's thriving and alive like she never has been.
Oh,
so
isn't
there's
that
so much
great?
similarity.
That's great.
And you had a hold for your partner.
Exactly.
And you knowing that it was going to get better.
Right.
Trusting it was going to get better.
Right.
And so you're in that middle point now, getting your toe in here already, feeling good and positive.
Yeah.
So I think your story will really help a lot of people that are in that choice point of what do I do?
It's so hard, and I hope they will listen. I hope they will listen because it's so important to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you are taking care of two of you.
Right.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Yeah, I look forward. Maybe we could do another of these like in a couple months, and then we can look back and go, wow, what's changed, and it's just I think it's just gonna
big relief.
get better for both because now. At home you were the partner and also the caregiver.
Exactly.
And then you're exhausted, and then you lose that ability to be the intimate partner.
That's right.
Anymore.
That's right.
So now, when you go visit him in the memory care, you're friends, and you can be his partner.
Exactly.
And then when he needs help, you can say, "Care attendant, can you help him?" And then you can stay rejuvenated. You can come back up to your room.
That's right.
Get rejuvenated, get a night's sleep. So when you're with him, you're present.
Yes.
And loving and caring, like the person that you are, and you can be yourself, and both of you will thrive together.
And and he's going to appreciate that. He doesn't realize it yet because I'm not there yet, but he's going to love having that lady back who was just in love with him, and he in love with her. It's going to be wonderful.
Yes, and he's getting appropriate activities and care down there that you couldn't provide for him at home, no matter how much you love him.
That's what I had been told in caregiving group was, look, he's missing the social life.
Right.
He'll get that when he's in a facility, in a memory care location where they have appropriate activities for him.
Right.
And I see that already. Mm-hmm. He's already getting to know. I don't know if you'd say getting to know. He already knows there are other people there that have interests in cars, which is his big interest.
Yeah. And it's nice because he'll find, I see people in memory care, they look at each other with a knowing.
Yes.
Like, I know you know, and we're okay, and you love me just like I am.
Exactly.
Where out in public, it's a little overwhelming, and they feel like, oh, someone's just going to look at me and they'll know something's wrong with me.
Right.
Not that they would, but sometimes people feel like that.
Yes, they do.
And so there's a comfort that comes with a really great memory care community.
That's right.
That there's a knowing. Like,
There's a knowing.
I'm safe here.
Exactly.
I can be myself, I can focus on my strengths, I can have family. And then there's caregivers all around the clock that get to work, and they go home, and they come back refreshed.
They do.
That's the trick, right?
They have a sense of humor again.
And they have a sense of humor. So
Right.
I look forward to following with you guys and seeing both of you really thrive. So
That's going to be really fun. I am too.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Making
very
some
much for
courageous
all
choices.
your help.
Together.
Yes, together
We're brilliant.
we did it.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's been a joy. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.